Hi, welcome to Low Carb Me and You. I'm Alexander, and today we're making stuffed zucchini in tomato sauce. This recipe makes for the best stuffed zucchini. It's a savory light meal or a starter with just the right balance of acidity and sweetness. It's also very easy to make a one pot meal. Most of the work is done up front. So let's get started. It's quite a shopping list for the whole meal, but nothing exotic. The two key ingredients are half and half minced meat and several zucchinis. To make the stuffing and sauce, we'll also need a glass of red wine, an onion, a can of chopped tomatoes, some garlic, an egg, shredded mozzarella, olive oil, erythritol, salt, pepper, and a bunch of fresh basil. Detailed ingredients are in the description of the video. Most of the work in this recipe is done up front, which makes it easy to prepare this meal ahead of time. There's a little bit of chopping to do, so let's get started with that. Fresh basil trumps dried basil any day, but in a pinch you could substitute it. Take the leaves and cut or chop them. Don't mince the basil, as you need to be a bit gentle, as not to lose the moisture from the leaves too early. We're also adding 2 cloves of garlic, one for the stuffing, the other for the sauce. We're going to crush the garlic, so just clean it, nothing else is needed. Then finely dice your onion. It's used in both the sauce and the stuffing. We want it fine, so it's easy to manage for stuffing the zucchini, but also small enough to cook properly in both the sauce and the stuffing. You don't want to bite into an undercooked piece of onion. Aromatics done, time to deal with the zucchini. In order to stuff the zucchini, we'll want to hollow them out. The easiest way to do so is by using an apple corer. I'm cutting off the top and bottom of the zucchini and then in half. This way you get nice portions you can serve, but it's also easier to prepare the zucchini. This way we can use the apple corer to reach in from both sides and get all the way through. To clean the zucchini, we'll want to do more than just remove the core. We want to get all of the seeds out and only leave the meatier outside. So just get in there and don't be afraid to remove a lot of the seeds. Just use the corer to scrape away on the inside. If this is the first time you're doing this, don't worry about how much you remove. Trust me, it may seem like you're removing a lot, but you really aren't. You'll see when you're adding the stuffing. And that's all the cutting we need to do. Let's make the minced stuffing. Grab a bowl big enough to mix the meat with some additional ingredients, by hand. Add in all of the mince, the shredded mozzarella, and the pepper. Only use half of the salt, a third of the basil, and a third of the chopped onion. Crush 1 clove of garlic and finally add the egg. With all the ingredients in, it's time to mix it up. You want to properly mix it all together, so the ingredients are properly distributed, but also to make sure it all stays together. You want to keep mixing until you have a sticky meat emulsion. The stickiness is caused by activating the myosin in the meat, which is what keeps everything together. There's a whole science behind this, which I'm definitely not qualified to explain. But know that this is what keeps the meat together, like with sausages. And the stuffing that we're making is going to be similar to a sausage when cooked. Once you've reached the messy, sticky stage of mixing, you can start stuffing your zucchinis. It's just a matter of stuffing as much of the meat mixture into the zucchini as you can. Because the zucchini is a moist vegetable, it'll slide right through to the other end. Don't try to compact the meat by pushing on both sides. If you made your meat emulsion correctly, it's already as compact as it can be. And all you're going to do is rupture the zucchini. Make sure you have the meat sticking out a little bit and press it down to give it a sort of mushroom head or plug at the end. This will prevent the meat from sliding out on either side. Repeat for as much stuffing and zucchini as you have. If you have too much leftover stuffing, you probably didn't remove enough of the core. You can just push out the stuffing and remove more of the center of the zucchini. But this stuffing also makes for fantastic burgers. All up to you. Zucchini ready, time to make the sauce. The sauce has only a few ingredients, but it packs an amazing depth of flavor. Get a pan large enough to hold all your zucchinis without having to stack them. Add the oil and bring the heat. Start by sauteing the onion. Give it a minute or two on high heat. Then crush in the other garlic clove. A bit of caramelization on the onion is good, but be careful not to burn the garlic. Give it a bit of a stir. Then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Add the chopped tomatoes and stir well. The acidity of the tomatoes is going to deglaze the pan if you happen to have anything stuck. Then add in the erythritol or any other sweetener of your choice, the remaining salt, and a glass of red wine like Merlot. Stir this all well. Then add in the remaining basil and let the sauce simmer for a couple of minutes to evaporate the alcohol. The final step is to add in the zucchini. Just spread it in your pan as it fits. Cover the pan with a lid and reduce the heat to medium-low. We want it to simmer gently for about 40 minutes in total. Turn the zucchinis every 10 minutes so it gets properly cooked all around, possibly shifting them around in the pan to accommodate hot spots for cooking. The meat will be cooked at about 20 minutes in. If you use this recipe for preparing a meal ahead of time, I suggest you stop here. The zucchini will not be fully cooked and soft at this point, which makes it easier to handle for reheating later, and you don't have to worry about it falling apart. After 40 minutes, you'll have beautifully cooked zucchinis. Remove them from the pan and set them aside. The final, and optional, step is to reduce the sauce a bit. The sauce might still be a bit thin and watery. You can reduce it on high heat for a couple of minutes to get it to thicken, but that's up to you. Serving the zucchinis is as easy as plating them up and topping them off with some freshly grated parmesan or a bit more of the soft shredded mozzarella you also used as an ingredient. If you have it, you can also add some fresh basil. This recipe makes for 6 servings. As said at the beginning, it's a light meal, so you can easily take multiple servings, or have it as a nice lunch or a starter. You can keep it for about a week in a refrigerator. These are the macros per serving: 5.2 grams of carbs, 15 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat, and about 322 calories. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more yummy recipes. Stay cooking, stay low carb, and let your taste buds dance with delight.